Hey guys, good morning. This is Sheila with What's Up, y'all. I would have got up earlier, but the sun's coming up over the trees right now. But it rained, I mean, tons last night. And of course, we really needed. I tried to get out yesterday afternoon and dig up some potatoes. The ground was so hard, I couldn't hardly get a shovel in it. It was like trying to step down or dig into a rock. So, because it rained, I'm hoping I have the gardens kind of gotten away. And you know, I told you I've been sick, and I'm not going to use everything for excuse, but literally there's just things that happened that it's been very difficult for me to get out or to even think in a right fashion, meaning that what are my priorities? And if I don't get these potatoes out, they're either going to rot, one, because I think for the rest of the week it's calling for rain, and I have got to get these potatoes up. I'm praying that today, I brought my little handy dandy tools, which I don't even know where they're at right now. Oh, I've got a shovel out here, but I also have the little scraper and the little digger. So I need to go ahead and get started with that before it starts raining again. I've got 2 rows. We've got some russet potatoes and we've got some red potatoes. I don't know where they're at. I'm just going to dig them up and say, oh, this is red, so I know it's a red potato. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hopefully I can get done soon. But you know what? I thought about something before I get started. You know, I always usually tell y'all a little story or an observation. So this morning the observation was, when I was putting on my shoes, then I remembered. I went, oh man, I forgot to tell my viewers that watch my channel this little observation. You don't ever hear about it. So I thought that I would talk to you guys and see what y'all thought about this observation, if you have any input about it. But anyway, as I'm putting on my shoes, as you know, I told you I had that plantar fasciitis. It had gotten better, but somehow I kind of twisted my foot, so I've been wearing these New Balance shoes, which was helping actually. Okay, and saying all of that, and putting on these old yard shoes, these old Skechers shoes, yard shoes, because I knew I'd be getting out here in the mud. But here's the observation. The observation is this, is that, have y'all ever noticed that when you put on shoes, and you go tying them up, and you do your regular bow to tie your shoes, you got about this much of the shoestring still hanging on the side. So you try to make the bow even bigger, 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 and then now you got the bows hanging out on the side. My observation is this. Even if you had a big, ginormous foot, and you put your foot in there, say, you know, you've got this much where the shoelaces, you know, go ziggity-zagging right here. Well, even if your foot was wide, say it was this wide, and it used all, you know, as far as it can go, about this wide, you still have got this much shoestring. Think about it. What the heck is all that shoestring for? Is it to tie up your leg or something? It ain't a boot. It's a doggone teeny shoe. Oh, anyway, so that was my observation this morning, and wanted to see if you guys have noticed this observation as well. And why do they put those ginormous shoestrings in a shoebox? I don't know, but this has been going on quite a while. And I've been meaning to say something about it, but I always forget every time I want to mention it to you guys. But you ever run across that? And then you have to be like a little kid. You got to double knot it, so all the shoestrings on there, so we step on it, it comes untied all the time. And that is so aggravating, because then you got about this long of shoestring dragging along on the floor. Just my observation. Now let me get started on these potatoes. So, I don't know if it is the weeds have about taken over, guys, honestly. I really need to get up this tarp. I don't even know where the potatoes are versus where the weeds. This is bad. I might have to get a shovel. But anyway, let me see if I can dig in there. See, I don't want to dig into and the ground is still hard after all that rain. I might have to go ahead and get the shovel and dig around the sides. I think I'm going to do that first, because I just can't see me doing this with this. Later on I can use this. But right now I need a shovel. So let me see what I can do. I really need to take up this doggone tarp or weed barrier. I think I need to do that first. Let me do that. I think that's the order I need to do it in. Well, anyway, I got to get to it. Pins. Okay guys, I'm not sure what time it is. You know how when you get sweaty, you got these stupid bugs that want to light on you. And it just bugs me. I need one of them people here doing a fan. Yeah. But I want to show you something. We've been working hard. I'm gonna go sit on the porch. I gotta cool down. I feel like I'm getting dehydrated. I don't know if it's bugs on me or sweat rolling off me. I don't know, but I'm hot. But you know what? It's okay when it's all said and done. Right now it's like, ugh. But look at my hair sticking out everywhere. I can see me. Well, anyway, bad hair day. So I want to show you. Well, here's some right here that I just had to throw up here. Look at that big old red tater right there. Ain't that looking nice? Look at that one. And Mister, he is down there and he's picking green beans. He's been sitting in that little spot for probably 5 minutes picking beans. And we still got, look at all that. All them beans. So after I cool down a little bit, it's supposed to be starting raining soon. That's why I want to get them taters up. I'm going to come back out and help him pick some beans. And you know what that means. You know, well, let me get you out here. You're just too...
You telling me how to pick green beans?
Wait a minute, baby. What did you say?
I said, you know what that means? That's what you said, right? I said, that means you'll be telling me how to pick green beans. No, you start at this end.
Yeah, you start this end because if you just start in the middle, look, he's getting on my nerves already. You start in the...
Look, you tore off a leaf.
He's just... Did y'all hear that chatty Cathy over there?
That's me, Chatty.
Chatty Cathy, chatty Cathy. Anyway, you don't start in the middle picking your beans. Because then when you come back out, he's like, where was I? What? So, anyway, sometimes people need help. Anyway, I need some help. I'm going to go up here on the porch. I think I'm going to get me some like that Gatorade sports drink or whatever to put my electrolytes back in. Because I feel dehydrated. I'm hot, sweating. It's either sweat or bugs. I don't know. It's really bothering me. So let's walk on up here. And but I just want to show you the potatoes. The potatoes that we got. And ooh, when I do like that, salty. I probably been consuming too much salt. But anyway, getting back to the green beans. That means with the green beans that, guess who's been canning green beans? Now it's been a few years since I've canned green beans because we had such an abundance the time before. Oh, I see a dandelion. Too late. I've already done my dandelion jelly. But anyway, I had a good stockpile of green beans, but we want to start pulling them off the shelves and eat them, kind of rotating them. So I want to put some fresh green beans, go ahead and can those. So I guess me and you we're going to be canning green beans before too long. Oh, I feel like something's biting me on my back. Gosh, I hate that. My son went on a camping trip, gotta tell you this. Oh, one more step. Went on a camping trip. He said where they were, had some friends that were there as well. And they thought they would just go out and just kind of round some chairs and sit in that chitty chat and stuff. And there were horseflies, them yellow flies. And they had to go get some stuff to put on them. But right before, I didn't even get my drink, I declare. But right before that, before they put the stuff on them, them things were biting the snot out of them. He said he counted 150 some bites. Said the next day they were itching. So every time something, feel like something on me, either a sweat bead or something, I think about them old flies. And I'm going, ah! So that's just part of gardening, isn't it? Well, let me go over here to the refrigerator. I got to pull something out. And I'm even getting a horse to try to talk. Can you believe that? Me? Yeah. I'm going to go get a drink. He got the cherry kind. I always tell him, Mister, I don't like that cherry kind. Maybe he got it because he don't want me drinking it all up. Because he likes the cherry. Well, next time he goes to the store, y'all remind me, tell him. Get a pack of cherry and also get a pack of orange. I like the orange, it's refreshing. Well, let me get that daggum cherry over there and try to hydrate some. Then it's back at it, picking those. Look at my glasses are going, sliding up and down my face. But I'm going to go ahead and get me that drink, like I said. I'm going to rest some. Hopefully the clouds will come back around. And so it won't be beating down on us. And then I'm going to be picking some green beans. And I already showed you the taters. We still got onions out there. We've got some beets. Corn still growing. Green peppers. Cayenne peppers. I can't remember. But anyway, so they're still growing out there, which is bringing a good harvest. I really like next year to kind of square off. It's kind of a rectangle now. I kind of like to square it off and be just a little bit bigger garden. And I don't think I want to put that, though I've already bought some for next year. Well, maybe I'll put it down. That weed killer stuff. This time it started growing up through the holes. And you can't hardly get that. Look, is that my hair? Oh, that was a reflection off the window. I thought my hair was sticking out like that. Well, anyway, let me get off here and get my drink. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Go get your iced tea. Do y'all put lemon in yours? I like half and half, actually, with lemon. Anyway, we'll go get your tea, no matter how you like to drink it, and we'll sit up here, and we'll get cooled off, and then get your gloves and everything. Then we'll go back. Y'all can help me pick them green beans. Yeah, I think that's a good deal. See you in a minute. Well, Mr. brought up the first little, he said he's sat in the same area, I guess about 7-8 minutes, but this is, can y'all see that? I can't see what you're seeing. That's what he got. So I told him, well, come on up here, let's cool off. And so what we're going to do right now is that I've got me a basket here to put all the ends in that, yeah, because I don't do the ends. Y'all know how to snap beans, so I just snap off those ends, throw it in the basket. Then I got a pot right down here, so do y'all remember sitting on the porch with your grandma or your mother or something, and you, I used to love snap beans because we sit out there and we just had the best old time, had our glass of tea, or Mom would drink coffee, even as hot as it was, she'd drink coffee. Ooh. But we'd sit out there and we would tell stories. Maybe that's where I get some of my stories, I don't know, or get my storytelling, because Mom will always go, Diane, that's my middle name, Diane. She goes, Diane, do you remember when? And then we start talking about something and just start laughing like two old silly girls. And it was the best time. Now, there are some times that I remember, growing up. Actually, I had a difficult childhood, but we're not going to go through all that. But there are some times that stuff like that I remember that, that I cherish. And I picked them with my grandmother too. There's a boo-boo on that. I don't want that. So anyway, I can't think of any stories now. If Mom was here, I'm sure she would be good. You remember, Don? Do you remember this? Do you remember that? And I go, yeah. And then we, like I said, we just get to chuckling and about certain things, or my grandmother and my mother be out there. I know one I got to tell you. I'll tell you this real quick, because y'all like my stories. Well, back in the day, when my mother was young, and then I had 3 aunts. I'm missing a bean here. Somebody wanted that bean. Can't have it. Anyway, they didn't have air conditioned stuff back then. They had, like, the screen doors, keeps the bugs and everything out. Well, my aunts were real young, and my mother, like I said, she was real young. So my grandmother had a turkey, and she went out, had her little baskets, because everybody, would put their clothes out on the line and dry their clothes. Well, my grandmother had taken something out, and she even wore them old flannel shirts and stuff way back in the day. I guess that was keep warm and stuff. But I don't know if it was red and white, black and white. I don't know. But anyway, so my grandmother went out, let me get to the story, to hang clothes out on the line. Well, they had that old turkey that my grandmother had, and for some reason, I don't know if that turkey didn't like my grandmother's shirt she had on or whatever, and that turkey started chasing my grandmother. Well, my mother, and it was Aunt Eva, I believe at that time, were just laughing. They just thought that was the funniest thing, with that turkey chasing my grandmother. Well, my grandmother goes running up to the porch to open up that screen door. Well, those little things that's got like a little eye hook, and then they got the hook that goes into them like that, to lock the screen door. I don't know what you call them. But anyway, my mother and my Aunt Eva decided they're going to lock the door. Well, they locked the door. My grandmother goes and tries to open up. She goes, "You open up that door." Well, they were just laughing. They just thought that was the funniest thing. So she jumps down, and she starts running around the house. Well, that turkey was like, she's running, and that turkey is like right behind her, let me tell you. Doing its little sounds and stuff, I don't know what, but they used to talk about it all the time. And so my grandmother run around the house, and she come back and she goes, "Y'all open that door right now." And they wouldn't do it. They just thought it was funny. So she come back around, that turkey still on her heels. She goes, "I'm going to kick y'all's butt if you don't open up that door right now." They still were laughing. Of course, they got in trouble. Long story short on that, they finally did open the door. But I remember my grandmother and my mother and sitting out snapping beans and stuff, and I'd be out there, I was a little kid, and when they was telling that story, and I'd even get to giggling. I can imagine my grandmother. Now, my grandmother could do anything. It's just one of those grannies, and you probably have them like that too, because back in the day, you had to do everything, And I just thought she was the smartest. I had the smartest grandma that was. She grew a garden. We go out there it was a little garden, because she was an RN nurse, so she just planted a little garden, and we'd go out there, and she'd take her knife out there, and she'd pick one of them cucumbers and cut it and stuff, and she'd hand it to me. Boy, I'm telling you what, on those summer days and stuff, to first peel that cucumber and eat that cucumber, ooh, that was just the best thing. I love cucumbers to this day. But getting back, and I'm going to end on this one because I got to finish doing these green beans, is that my grandmother could do anything, I thought. She could grow a garden. She worked as an RN. She could cross stitch. She could embroider. She could crochet. She would strip furniture and redo the furniture. She made jams. She made wine out of old grapes and stuff that she grew. I mean, it was nothing. I mean, seriously, I couldn't think of anything that she couldn't do. And like I said, you probably have a grandma like that too. But, we're kind of getting back to those kind of days now, aren't we? We don't know where the world, what's coming about. And you got to learn to be self-sufficient. You got to learn how to do these things. I mean, just say, what if you didn't have any electricity, just food for thought? What would you do? How would you fix anything? How would you cook? You know, what if you didn't have any running water? What would you do? How would you get water? Just survival things, guys. They had to do it way back in the day. So maybe we need to get food for thought and about that. But listen, let me go on and finish. I feel like there's bugs on it. Finish snapping these green beans. It looks like I'm going to be here for a minute. Then we're going to get back up there. I'm going to go ahead and try to get as much as I can get done while we're resting, so to speak. And that way we go pick more beans, and I'm going to wash these off and then put them in water and put them in the refrigerator. Because believe you me, we're going to have to be canning these beans real soon. So, anyway.
I got a story.
Uh-oh, Mr. has a story.
I have a story. Way back when
Can y'all see him?
In my younger days, I had a friend that had a farm, and he planted like 10 acres of corn. He said, Keith, come on out and pull you some corn, as much as you want. So I went out one Saturday morning, pulled a bushel and a half, brought it home, and that's when we lived in the big city of Greensboro. And so my neighbors were, we were good friends, so I picked him up about 30 ears and put it in a bag, took it over to him, and I said, I've had this corn before, it's really good, you enjoy it. It freezes well, eats right off the cob very well. So I went back, started my business, and a week later I see my neighbor out in the yard, and I walk over and said, how you guys doing? Yeah. How was that corn? Have you tried it yet? Oh, we had to throw all that corn away. I said, throw it away? What was wrong with it? He said, you know what? We went to shucking it, and every ear had a worm in it. So we had to throw it all away. A worm in it. I said, are you kidding me? I said, well, guess what? I worked my rear off pulling that corn. You won't get no more of my corn, big boy. You take those worms and you put them on the grill.
Oh,
there you get the protein. You get the vegetable factor. It's a twofer.
No.
Protein and vegetable.
Not
great.
me.
You put them little green worms on a skewer.
Ooh, that's nasty, mister.
And you put it on the grill for about 5 minutes each side.
Don't y'all take heed to that.
Snap,
Don't do that.
Crackle, pop.
Yeah, smushy between your teeth. That's just gross.
You got to cook them just right.
No. Anyway, let me finish doing these green. Don't y'all go out there and be picking corn and eating that bug. Anyway, and don't throw your corn away. You just move that little bug, and you shuck that thing, and oh man, you can put it on the grill, boil it. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can fix that corn. But okay, let me finish this, and we'll see you in a little bit. Hey guys, just want to let you know that last night I turned on a movie and started snapping these beans. I don't know how many beans I have. This whole stock pot here, I don't know if you can see that. That whole stock pot there is full, and then I'm washing them now. I usually try to wash them twice to 3 times to make sure I got off everything, any kind of debris or anything on it. So I'm going to raw pack these green beans. I'm going to tell you, if you've never canned before, this is so simple. And I know it might be intimidating to some of you that have never canned before, but I'm just letting you know, I mean, it's just I think the longest time, it was kind of like with the dandelion jelly, picking the dandelions and cutting the petals off and stuff. That was the longest process of it all. With these green beans, it's the picking them and the snapping them. So I just put them in some water, what I had snapped last night, put them in my refrigerator that's on the outside, and then the ones that I hadn't snapped yet. And Mr. and I just went out on the deck, and he and I both finished up snapping the rest of these beans. So I pretty much washed them all twice, except for this little bit that I have here, and I'll just show you this. Just simple. I had them in this pot and wash them. And then I moved them over here to this water here. So what I'm doing now is just taking them out and filling up another bowl of the already snapped and washed green beans. My next thing that I'm going to do, so Mr. went down to the shed and got 2 of, I can't see y'all, two cases, which the case holds 12 jars, quart jars. I told them it didn't really matter to me, wide mouth, small, it was whatever we have. And so I haven't looked at them, I'm not sure what they are, small or big, but like I said, it doesn't matter. So we're going to make sure, you know, I always want to sterilize your jars and make sure there's not no funky stuff in them. But anyway, do that. And like I said, raw packing, I'll just tell you quickly, raw packing is easy. Once I get all this done, this is done right here. All the washing and stuff is done. The next thing I'm going to do, and I'll show you when I get to that step, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, is in each quart, I'm sorry, I kicked the thing. In each quart jar, you want to add 1 teaspoon of sugar. Not salt. I don't know why I said sugar. Salt. Don't put sugar in it. Mister's showing me the salt. Salt. Salt, salt, salt. Not sugar. I don't know why I said that. Salt. Anyway, you want to put a teaspoon of salt in each jar. Then you want to pack it with your green beans, and then you want to lightly, you know, tap it on a counter. I usually put a towel or something under there so I can make, when I'm doing the jars, I'm making sure that I'm getting them tightly packed. The next thing you want to do is, if you have a ball jar book, look in there. Also know your altitude, where you're at, as to what pounds of pressure that you're going to be using. I am 2,500 feet above sea level. I'm going to have between 12 and 13 pounds of pressure in my pressure canner. I have 2 pressure canners, and I just bought a new one not long ago because I knew when my garden was coming in that, you know, my canner usually only holds 7 quarts. And with us having to can as much as we think that we're going to be doing, like with these green beans, we still have to go out there. There's still some more green beans that have not been picked yet on the other side. Mr. started on one side. He thought I was going to get that, which I didn't. I started on the other end. But anyway, we've got those beans to pick. But what I'm saying is, if you know you're going to have a big harvest, I mean, you know, if you can't, you know, get 2 pressure canners, it's okay. It just takes a little bit longer. So anyway, I've got another one. So I'm going to have 2 pressure canners going at the same time. So that's 14 quarts of green beans. I don't know if I'm going to have that many yet, but we got it out anyway, just in case. So anyway, let me finish getting these few little straggly beans in here, put them in the bowl. Going to get my jars ready, and so we can put the salt in the jars, and then we'll go from there. I will say this, I don't think I mentioned this, which I'll say it again, is after you know, looking at your altitude as to what pounds of pressure you're going to use, is 25 minutes cooking time. Now you know you're going to have the 10 minutes of getting all the air and stuff out of your canner, and I'll show you that. Once that starts and you've got all your air out of your canners, then you're going to start your timer on 25 minutes for quarts, 20 minutes for pints. So I'm doing the quarts. I don't know, I don't want a little bit of green beans, do you? When you sit down for dinner, I want to have plenty, so I know I'm eating some green beans. I got plenty to eat. And then we got our taters out there yesterday too, so we put some potatoes in there too. Good cooking, good eating. But anyway, let me finish this up. Once I get my jars ready, then we'll go through the process of that. Get your tea. Okay, guys. The next step of this is that here are all my jars. And what I've done is I've kind of run my finger around them to make sure there's no cracks. Also, I want to say to you that when you're canning like this, in the pressure canner, my advice to you, excuse me, I don't know why my throat is closing up, but excuse me, is that you do, I know what it is because I ate some chips. But anyway, the one thing that I suggest to you is not to use, because these are made for canning. You do not want to use any mayonnaise jars. Even though the lids fit, do not use the mayonnaise jars. Please just stick with your regular ball or cur, your standard canning jars. Okay, the next thing we want to do, now since we've done all the washing, I've checked all the jars, everything is fine, We've got both our pressure canners sitting over there that I'll be putting on the stove shortly. But this is the next step, guys. And this is just filling up all your jars. So I've got my little funnel here. You can use that, or you can just do it by hand. So now I'm taking my freshly washed green beans, and this is what's called raw pack. So I'm doing that. I've got to get my salt. I do not have the handy over here yet. So, and you want to leave at least a quarter. See how I'm doing? I've got this under here because I don't want to put it on anything hard trying to pack down my jars, because I don't want them to break. So when I did that, see, it gives me a little bit more room to put some more beans in. So I'm going to do that. A lot of people take it in their hand. You could do like that. Whichever you feel comfortable with. I could add, might be another bite for somebody right there. Let me go on and do that one in there. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And I really don't know how many jars that I'm going to use. Like I said, we got out 2 cases of the canning jars. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and fill as many jars. Then I'll go back, and you want to put 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to say salt. I don't know why I said sugar a while ago. Salt in every single one of your jars. See what I did that? It keeps going down. Put a little bit more in there. Okay, so that's number 2. So let me go ahead. You can see what I'm doing. If you don't have a funnel, y'all wanted that, didn't you? Fell on the floor. That's what my people out in the country used to say every time something would drop and go, I know you wanted that. So let me go ahead and finish filling as many jars as I possibly can. Then we will come back, and I'm going to add the salt at each one. Now, a lot of times, so you don't forget, a lot of people like to go ahead and put their salt where they can see it in the jars. Either way, as long as you get that teaspoon of salt in all the jars. So see how that went down really pretty? Okay. Well, I'll be back once all the jars, and we'll see how many jars that I've got based on how many green beans that we picked out of our garden. I'm excited, guys. Okay, guys, I just got finished filling. We had to open up another case. But remember that my pressure canner only takes 7-quart jars. So I knew with 2 pressure canners, you double that, that's 14. So I've got 14 jars here of green beans getting ready to go into the pressure canner. Now, I filled my pressure canner with about 3 inches of water on the bottom. I'm also going to do a splash here. Some people put like a couple of tablespoons. I don't do that. I just kind of pour some in there because it ain't going to hurt it. But the reason I do that is to keep my, especially my new one, my pressure canner clean. And also it keeps it from having water spots on your jar. So I'm going to do that in a few minutes. But I told you that I would come back and I would finish up my jars. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a teaspoon, whoops, let me get you here, it's not staying. I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt in each one. So I just put it in my little measuring cup here because I thought it would be easier. I'm going to start in the back and see here and say, now I can see now because it's on the top, so I don't miss any, the salt that I'm putting in my jars. Once I do that, I'm heating up water. You probably heard it in the tea kettle. I know it's not going to be enough. What I'm going to do next after that is that I'm going to fill these jars with hot water, because I want to put the hot jars, because I fill it with hot, into hot water in my pressure canner. So I don't want to have cold water and then stick them in. Look, I almost measured that correctly. Look at there. I only had just a smidge left. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here and get my tea kettle, and I'm going to start putting water in them. Now remember that I'm going to keep at least a 1/4 inch headspace in each jar. I'm telling you guys, this is really simple. So let me go over here and get my, I know I'm going to have some more water. But see, I'm putting 2 pressure canners on the stove, so, so I'm going to start in the back. Now let's start in the front. It's easier. So see how this is? Now a lot of people will take like a plastic knife or the thing that comes with your canner, actually a little tool set, you know, like your funnel and that little knife thing and your little magnet picker upper to pick your lids up with, those kind of things. Yeah, I'm going to need some more water. But you also want to put this a 1/4 inch water, and I'm going to need some more water, but it is hot, 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 hot water. And yeah, ooh, y'all see that? That was about to get me right there. Let me put some more water in it. At least this is Sheila's kitchen. Lord, I'm glad somebody else wasn't doing it. Okay, let me fill this with water again, hot water. Now what you do with this, because these 3 jars, while I wait on the other water, it's hot. And what you want to do, you could either go like this, just kind of lightly thump it around, or they say get you a plastic knife, and I don't have a plastic knife, but I have where I put my like icing on my cake. It's rubber, and you can stick it down on the sides and just move this around a little bit. Make sure you get all the air, and I'm going to kind of thump it some more. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to, you know, remember I already checked for cracks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm still going to take a little vinegar, and I'm going to wipe my lids, just because I know I put salt and stuff in there, and I don't want to have any granulars of salt. As you can see now, I'm putting this in the back. This is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you know, guys, with me, let me turn this up on high. Let's see, front one's for water. Let me turn that down. Back one, I'm turning on high because I want it to start building up the pressure. Now you know, when it comes to my lids, me and these lid things tackle. I tried last time to remember where let's see, the arrow is right there. And as I work on these others, I'm going to wait. My pressure gauge here is going to be, because I've got it on high, it's going to be, this is shut really good. The little nipple back here, you see it, that's going to be popping up hopefully soon, but it's going to start increasing in the pressure. Now with my altitude, I only want it between 12 and 13. It might jitter. I don't want it to fall below it. If it does, I'm going to have to start all over again. Once that starts building up the pressure, this little nozzle here is going to be spewing out steam. Once it starts a steady flow of steam, then I'm going to start my 10 minutes. You can put it on the timer, or you can just look on your clock. After 10 minutes, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put the little regulator on it and turn it down, and always keep my eye on it to make sure I only have between 12 and 13 pounds of pressure. So let me get started with this other set that goes into my other pressure canner, so we can have about 14 jars to start off with green beans. So let me get back to it. It's the same thing, guys. You turn you around. It's the same thing. I'm going to be I need 7 jars to go into that pressure canner. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7 here, and I've already got the salt in it. My water's been heating up, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting the water in there, you know, cleaning off my lids with the vinegar, and I got to put my lids, excuse me, in here. Okay, here we go, working on the second batch. So let me get finished with these, get it in the pressure canner, and then the other one's starting to build up steam, and the steam is coming out, starting at kind of a rapid boil, so it won't be long. We'll be putting the regulator on it. I can't wait. This is a lot of hard work, but it pays off, guys. It really pays off. Through the winter and stuff, you got to do some. Now this I use in dry canning. It's got sugar on it. It's probably where I got sugar a while ago, but it's not, so I have to make sure I mark that out. I did not use it in anything hot. The seal is still good. I made sure it was nice and clean. Like I said, the lid has never been used as far as heating up or anything, so let me stick this over there. Okay, I just put my lid on there, easy peasy. This one went on easy. Now to close it. I don't know about this being easy. Okay, now I need to turn it around, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be waiting. Now for the steam to start coming out of this one, and then once it does, and it's been going for 10 minutes, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put the regulator on this one as well. Now this one's already up to 5 pounds of pressure. When it gets up to 12 to 13 pounds of pressure, remember, for the quarts, it's 25 minutes. Once it reaches that, that's when I'm going to start counting my 25 minutes. When my 25 minutes is over, then I'm going to just turn off my burner, and I'm going to leave it there until all of the pressure goes down to 0. Then I can take off my regulator and then the top. It's the same thing with this. This one is just now put the lid on. I'm waiting for the steam to start rising out of this. When this starts rising out at a constant, you'll see the steam. I mean, it's really gushing out. After 10 minutes of it doing that, I'm going to put the regulator on, like I said, and wait till it gets up to 12 to 13 pounds of pressure. Based on my altitude, I'm going to put this on and then do the same thing. Wait for it to get up to that, and then I will cut the heat down. I will start timing it for 25 minutes as well. So while I'm doing that, I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, everybody, this is it. This is the next day, actually. However, you know, I got them out of the pressure canners. And so how many do we have here? Let's count them. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We have 18 quarts of green beans. I've already checked the lids on all of them. They're all down. So the next thing, let y'all see it. Aren't they pretty? Look at that. They turned out really well. We're going to go out today and see if there's any more. Cannon is on. Cannon season is on. But this is the green beans I wanted to show you today. Easy peasy, like I said. You can do it. And then, you know, be later on, like in the winter and stuff, be very thankful that you did, even though, you know, it's time consuming, but that's okay because the payoff is wonderful. Girl or fella, put you some little potatoes when you fix your beans, put some potatoes in there. Goody, goody. Okay, so I'm going to head and get off of here. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Had 2 or 3 things going on, so oh, I look sleepy this morning. I ain't washed my face. I do have my cup of coffee. Mister started my cup of coffee for me this morning, and I got a little bit, just a little sip. So I'm going to drink my coffee, go out here on the deck, sit with him, talk to the cats, drink my coffee. But anyway, remember that, guys, that I love you, but guess who loves you more? Jesus does. You know he loves you more. Anyway, I hope y'all have a blessed day in the Lord. And again, I will see you guys soon. Okay. Bye, y'all.